attending the Racing for Recovery Support Group meeting. We are focused on maintaining a drug-free and healthy lifestyle. Since 2001, our open forum meetings welcome parents, adolescents, recovering individuals, and anyone who supports our mission. Your suggestions, comments, or ideas are welcome to make the meetings the best they can be. The Racing for Recovery Support Group meeting is a cutting-edge alternative to what is currently offered by combining substance abusers, families, friends, and the public at large. We have created an environment that is beneficial to everyone who has been affected by alcohol or drug addiction. The meeting start time is 7 p.m. Please be on time. Please turn off cell phones and ringers to vibrate and refrain from posting on social media during the meeting to show respect and courtesy to yourself and others. Please only one person speaking at a time. Please speak loudly so that everyone can hear. Proof of attendance is gladly provided. Turn in your paperwork prior to the meeting and you can pick it up at the end of the meeting. Honesty is required. Feel free to openly share your comments and points of views on how alcohol and drug addiction has impacted your life. This meeting is open to people of all ages and welcomes diversity, so please refrain from using excessive foul language or language that discriminates against any race, gender, religion, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or disability to maintain an atmosphere of respect and dignity for all who are present. If you see a visitor, a new member, or a returning member that you haven't seen in a while, please warmly welcome them into our program. Your confidentiality is important to us. What you say here will not be discussed outside of the meeting. Please refrain from leaving the meeting while it's in progress because it is disruptive to others. Smoking or vaping should be done far away from the building, and do not break out the premises. Find a trash can.
With that being said about the smoking or vaping, I'm going to make a quick announcement before the announcements. Some of us already know about this, but as of September 1st, we're going to be a no tobacco campus. No tobacco. If you guys want any information about how to quit smoking, we're not telling you to quit, but if you want to help quit, just don't do it here. That's basically it. But yeah, until September 1st. If you have any questions, ask me about it afterwards or someone else. But don't take up any time in the meeting asking questions because we could be here all night. All right, so who's got the guidance for living lifestyle recovery?
Good evening, everybody. I'm Sharmini. The Lifestyle of Recovery guidelines are intended to be utilized by recovering individuals, their families, and anyone else who is striving to avoid substance abuse and achieve sobriety. Guideline 1, recognizing that substance abuse ruins lives. 2, wanting to pursue positive alternatives to substance abuse, such as our education, employment, quality relationships, and health and fitness. 3, using resources such as friends, family, teachers, and peers as a way to achieve and remain sober. Adding sports, art, or music to these resources will help us stay focused and motivated. 4, defining balance and working toward making it a part of everyday life. 5, building self-esteem and confidence through sobriety to combat negative feelings regarding oneself. 6, understanding that negative behaviors of isolation and self-pity lead to self-destruction. 7, lifting a person up is different than allowing them to continue their destructive lifestyles. Be there for yourself and be patient with your friends and family. 8, learning how to help without supporting the addict's behavior, providing assistance to the recovering individual that will improve their lives, not further their usage. 9, recognizing personal challenges and integrating them into our lifestyle as challenges to triumph over. And 10, caring for our personal, emotional, physical, and spiritual individuality is the source we use for our sense of worth. Each person is truly magnificent. Our mission at Racing for Recovery is to prevent all forms of substance abuse by promoting a lifestyle of fitness and health for all those affected by addiction.
Thanks, Charlie. All right, who's got What Racing for Recovery Means to Me by Kelly Anderson?
Racing for Recovery Means to Me by Kelly Anderson. R, respect yourself enough to quit using. A, accept the challenges that lie ahead. C, commit to your recovery. I, include friends and family on your journey. N, never doubt your will to succeed. G, give yourself credit for your accomplishments. F, focus on the positive things you want in life. O, overcome your fears and keep moving forward. R, remember the reasons you are seeking sobriety. R, reach out to others to give and receive support. E, expect holes in the road and choose another road. C, care for your body, you only get one in this lifetime. O, open your heart, minds, emotions, and spirits. B, victory comes from a balanced lifestyle. E, educate yourself on all aspects of recovery. R, Racing for Recovery saves lives. Y, You will learn that with sobriety, anything is possible.
Thank you, Jeremy. All right, it's time for introductions. Here's where we go in the room, say your name, why you decided to join us tonight.
My name is Dustin. I had an excellent weekend with family and friends, and like I always say, man, this is my favorite way to start off the week.
I'm Andre, alcoholic. I am here tonight to give support and receive support.
I'm Sean. I'm here as part of my recovery. I like these meetings and glad to be here. And I'm Rob. I had some teeth work done. I can't speak right now.
Thanks, Rob.
My name is Jeremy. I'm here racing for recovery and sobriety. I'm crucial part of my identity.
I'm Anna, I'm here because I choose to be with you and learn.
I'm Patty here for the positivity and to see all the friends.
I'm Connie, I'm Dustin's mom, and I'm here just to be uplifted today.
I'm Sammy. I'm here because I want to be, and I want to start off the week on a good note.
I'm Craig. I'm here to learn.
Amber, I'm here to support myself and learn.
I'm Andrew, or Son. I'm here. I'm just thankful to you. You know, I don't live like you do, so it's fine.
I'm Michael, and I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I'm celebrating 224 days of sobriety. And we're here to help this young man to support him.
I'm Michael. I'm here to change my life.
Michael, I'm here to be sober and happy.
My name is Tim. I am here for the lifestyle.
Dylan, I'm here to stay sober.
I'm Brittany, and I'm here to learn.
Dan, here to stay sober.
I'm Sierra and I'm here to better myself.
I'm Cody. I'm here to stay sober and learn. I'm Bob. I'm here for recovery and to learn a new way of life.
My name is Jeff. I'm here because the answer is here.
I'm David. I'm here because I still need to be.
Emily, I'm here for positivity and peer support.
I'm Kristen, I'm here to heal my mind, body, and soul.
I'm Brian. I'm here to stay sober and stay enlightened.
Oh, I'm Rhea, and I'm here to change my life and stay. I'm Sharmini. I'm here because I no longer abuse substances to deal with life hardships. I use the guidelines that Racing for Recovery has taught me.
I'm Heather and I'm here because I've had a super good day and I want to continue. I'm Allie. I'm here for support.
I'm Larry. I'm here because it's a good way to start off the week for one, and I enjoy all the evening meetings. Tony for change.
My name's Sam, I'm here to give you support.
My name is Debbie. I'm Steven's mom. I'm here to support him and show hope to families. Recovery is possible.
I'm Gary, Steven's dad, and I'm here to give back to Racing for Recovery for all the great things that it's done for our
Growing this process.
I'm Nick. I'm here because I wouldn't let everything grow. I'm Josh. I'm here to continue to grow and move forward and look at your hair.
I'm Tim. I'm here to build new wall.
I'm Samantha, I'm here to keep learning.
I'm Sarah. I'm here to support because there's a lot of good stuff in this book.
I'm Patrick, and I'm here because I choose to be. I want to be. It's part of my routine, and there is good stuff in this book.
My name is Eric, and I am here for patience and balance.
AJ, here to stay sober. Brian, this is what I need to do.
I'm Heidi, I'm here to change my life. I'm Jess, I'm here for support.
My name's Josh. I'm here to find and better myself.
My name's Joe. I'm here because I love myself.
I'm Brittany and I'm here to embrace the permanent white waters that I face to change and ride those waves.
I'm Adam, and I'm here to sit uncomfortably close to Bobby for an hour.
I'm Bobby, and I missed Adam the week I was gone, so I want to sit close to him.
I'm Christy, and I'm here for support.
I'm Casey. I'm here to stay sober and learn and listen from all you guys.
Justin here for growth and positive peer support. I'm Tyler. I'm here to improve my life.
Steven, I'm here to stay sober.
I'm Randy, here to listen and learn.
I'm Jeff. I'm here for hope and inspiration.
I'm Chad. I'm here to support Sarah.
Hey guys, I'm Sarah and I'm here because I still have a lot more to learn.
I'm Kyle. I'm here for the sport.
I'm Jessica. I'm here to learn and for support.
I'm Scott. I'm here for the housing stay focused.
I'm David. I'm here for growth and support.
My name's John. I'm here to remain humble, focused, and teachable.
I'm Randall. I come to these meetings to learn something out of this Facebook.
I'm Des. I'm here to learn balance. Shelby. I'm here for the positivity and consistency. I'm Megan. I'm here because this place gives me strength to get through really tough days, and it's where I get my good vibes from.
I'm Dustin. I'm here for the positivity and to keep improving my life.
I'm Levi. I'm here to stay focused.
I'm Joe. I'm here because I was gone last week on a great vacation. It's good to be back, and I'm getting back to my routine, and I'm here to stay teachable.
I'm Steven. I'm here because this place gives me hope, and I just love everything about it. I don't know, just seeing people grow, seeing myself grow, it's amazing, and I just can't get enough of it, so let's get started. Who's got the answer by Donald D. Carr?
I do. Hello everyone, I'm Maria. The Answer by Donald D. Carr. Running from the misery, trying to escape the pain. As I approach the light of hope that lies before me, each step overwhelms me. Every breath sears my throat. I ache. My body rebels against me. My memories torment me. Agony has become my closest companion. My demons mock me as I dangle helplessly above the abyss of drug and alcohol abuse. The voices all sound the same, criticizing, accusing, blaming me for what has happened. They don't understand. They don't care who I am. I'm a human being, full of thoughts and feelings. I am worth saving. Just show me the way. At last, I reach the light of promise. There stands the answer. Open arms, understanding smiles, looks of trust, and so it begins, Racing for Recovery.
Thanks, Raya. Announcements. I made one earlier. Other than that, there's a race coming up. Yes.
What are the announcements? I think I missed it.
Oh, the first one is the no smoking.
That was a joke.
Thanks, Ray.
JK.
Keep me on my toes.
JK.
But speaking of being on my toes, the race is coming up in October, guys. Sign up. It's going to be great. I don't know. I've been talking about this for a while, so I hope I do well when I do actually run the race. So, anyhow. As you can see from the introductions, our meeting is for everyone affected by self-destructive behaviors. No topic is off limits. If you have a question or something you'd like to discuss, we encourage you to bring it up early so we have time to discuss it. With that being said, before we get started in the book, does anyone have anything they'd like to talk about? Anything good? Anything bad? Anything anywhere in between? 43 at the top where it says Ben Thompson. Who'd like to read?
I will if no one else will.
Oh, you have your hand up?
I'll read it.
Okay.
It's 3.5 pages, quite a bit.
You can take turns halfway through then.
I'll do that. Who else wanted to read?
Sharmini. I'm sorry?
I'll stop at the bottom of page.
Don't split the page. Okay.
Ben Thompson. I grew up comfortably in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I was healthy, had 2 loving parents, great friends, and a good private art-based early education. I was active in sports, my church, and was a good kid. However, I was restless, irritable, and discontent. I recall feeling fearful almost all the time. In the middle of class or a soccer game, I would become stuck in thoughts that something terrible was about to occur. In 5th grade, my teacher took notice of my strange behavior and suggested to my mom that she find me some help. I remember sitting in a room full of doctors and psychiatrists crying, not being able to explain what was upsetting me. For the next 3 years, I can't even guess how many counselors and therapists my mom took me to see. None of them gave me relief. At this time, I was still doing well in school and on my sports team, involved in plenty of extracurricular activities. Just felt horrible and scared all the time. I graduated from a private 8th grade class of 30 students and moved on to a public 9th grade class of 500. I knew no one, and I struggled to make sense of what was expected of me academically. To the dismay of my father, I abandoned sports. All I looked forward to every day was going home to be alone. I began to make friends with the wrong people. The idea of smoking pot fascinated me. My first inhale of marijuana was like a lit match hitting a line of gasoline. When it hit me, I set the pipe down and started laughing hysterically. I wasn't scared, fearful, or insecure. The world seemed much brighter and much more interesting. I walked to the gas station laughing the entire way and bought the most delicious junk food I had ever tasted. I was instantly in love. The next day I told the girl who got me the pot how incredible the experience was and how I wanted more. She was some of her friends, we all got high together. I used to get high every day after school. Of course, smoking that much pot financially was unsustainable. I solved the problem by dealing. I would pick up an ounce from my dealer and take it back to my mom's house and use a digital scale to bag up grams. I sold $20 and $50 bags with ease at school and smoked the rest. Then I would go pay my dealer in cash and get another ounce to sell. It was a great system. Or the first time I got drunk, I was out of weed and couldn't find more. I took a bottle of my mom's gin back to my room and shut the door. I took a huge swig and I felt it burn my throat on the way down, and when it hit my stomach, it felt warm. I waited a couple minutes, nothing. Another big swig, still nothing. A third, and I began to wonder what the big deal about alcohol was. Then my head started to spin, my vision blurred, and I fell to the floor. I loved it. My friends and I found local stores that wouldn't ask for identification. We even found one that would deliver booze to us while we waited at the park. At age 17, I was drinking and smoking and selling pot every day. Then I began experimenting with mushrooms, opium, painkillers, whatever I could get my hands on. In college, I was introduced to the substance that finally brought me to my knees, the prescription amphetamine Adderall. At the start, it was a way for me to study all night, but quickly I needed it just to get out of bed in the morning. I would pull multiple all-nighters and then sleep for 18 hours straight. When I ran out of pills, I would lie in bed sick and crying, not getting up until one of the dealers contacted me with a new supply. One day after day of final exams in high school, my friend Isaac and I went to a local store and stole a fifth of rum. We drank the entire bottle in my mom's basement and then drove over to a friend's house, where we kept drinking. Eventually, I insisted on riding my bike home on a steep downhill. I was so drunk that I swerved off the road and collided with a parked car at full speed.
I flew over the handlebars and smashed my face on the back window. I remember feeling stunned, and I grabbed my bike and stumbled home thinking I was fine. When I opened my door, I looked down and saw thick blood dripping to the floor. When I looked in the mirror, my lower lip was practically severed. Furthermore, I had completely knocked out several of my teeth, and there was a frightful amount of blood covering my neck and chest. I spent the rest of the day in the emergency room being sewn back together. That night, I was snorting my painkillers with Isaac and laughing about the whole incident. There were many nights where I would snort lines of cocaine until my nose bled, and then keep on going. Every time I used coke, I ended up lying in bed, alternating between smoking and throwing up, calling everyone I knew and begging them to find me more cocaine. Many times I would wake up with hours or even entire nights erased from my memory. I could not go on using, but when I tried to stop, I became too depressed and the physical withdrawal was too much. So eventually, I walked into a hospital and said, "Help me." After being interviewed by many doctors and therapists and getting honest about what I'd been doing for 7 years, I was admitted to the psych ward. I spent my first night there shaking and crying until I fell asleep. I woke up wearing a gown on a hospital bed with a band on my wrist. I looked out over the city I'd raised hell in and realized how out of control I'd become. It was terrifying to realize I was in the hospital because of drug addiction, and I had no idea what was going to happen to me. 2 weeks later, I was discharged after I made a plan to go check myself into rehab. I followed through on my plan and attended 5 hours of group and individual therapy 5 days a week for months. The day after I was released from the hospital, I went to see my friend Ray, who lived down the street from my mom's place. I told him about what I was going through, and he told me how he had just returned from a vacation, and he sat next to a guy on the plane who was a recovering drug addict. His name was Todd Crandall, and he had been clean for years. Not only that, he completed an Ironman triathlons. He asked me if I would watch a short video about him, and I agreed, not really interested. The next 10 minutes changed my life and set me on a path that I am still on today. I could really relate to Todd's story of addiction because the pain he expressed was exactly what I was feeling. Seeing footage of him finishing Ironmans floored me. I heard the words, racing for recovery, and I knew instantly that I wanted to be a part of it, and that I wanted to go all the way from addict to Ironman too. I'd never run more than a couple of miles in my life. I didn't have a bike, and I literally did not know how to swim, but I was going to do it. I have the Lifestyles of Recovery pinned to the backboard of my desk, and they are the basis of how I live today. I have Racing for Recovery tattooed on my left calf. I graduated from Eastern Michigan University at 18 months sober, and art, fitness, and healthy relationships are what my life is about now. Defining balance and making it a part of my life is critical. I need moderate doses of many positive things. Living this way has built up my confidence and self-esteem. I care for myself emotionally, physically, and spiritually every day.
Thank you, Charmy. Thank you, Jeremy. So that's a lot to take in at once, like 3.5 pages, more than we ever really read in here, but try to center yourself a little bit, find some balance, and let's talk about what we just read. Who's got something?
Jeez, man. Tough crowd.
Joe.
I'm not exactly sure where in here or what exactly they said, but it's something along the lines of having to check himself into a hospital, you know, for his addiction and basically to get clean. I really can't relate to that because I've never been hospitalized for anything alcohol or drug related, but I can relate to the desperation of wanting to get out of that life, you know, being in the pits of addiction and just literally praying to God that, you know, either to die or somehow get help. And that resonates a lot with me because I spent, you know, a couple months with my ex. I didn't have insurance at the time, just calling every rehab I could find, a number for in Ohio, trying, begging them to let me in. I couldn't get it anywhere, like literally nowhere in the state of Ohio would accept me without insurance, and I was too fucked up to go get insurance, so I was screwed. The only way I knew how to get clean was, you know, commit a crime and wait until the cops showed up so I could get caught, so I knew the drug would force me into help. And that sucks, but, you know, that's probably the best thing that's ever happened to me, just because I found this place. I heard about this place a while back from one of my sister's friend, worked at Fifth Third Bank together, and she would tell my sister about the amazing things it did for her and her fiance at the time, husband now, and my sister would beg me, and I'd be like, man, you're full of shit. It's like, I'm gonna keep partying, you know, like, it sounds nice, but I don't know. And then I gave it a chance. You know, I lived across the street in a hotel, not lodging, before lodging was ever thought of. And I came over here once, hollered at Dan. It sounded cool. He spit it already, you know. Had to go back out for a little while. And I just thank God for, you know, how I got here, what it took for me to get here, and where I'm at now, because, like, a lot of this I can relate to, you know, and loving it and alcohol and loving it, and everything that he says, this person says in the story is just, it's so true, you know, it's you don't make that shit. So, I don't know, I can relate to pretty much this whole thing.
Yes, Joe. I relate super heavily to this whole story. Just the part of him like slowly escalating through his addiction and never being satisfied with what he was doing until it got too bad to where he didn't know what he was doing anymore. I've been there. I ended up in a psych ward. I ended up in jail. And I ended up needing help. And this was back when I was living in Florida, and my parents were desperate to help me find some way out of what I found myself in. And my cousin knew of this guy named Todd Crandall, and he said, you should come back and talk to him. Maybe it'll help. It was like a last-ditch effort. And the thing about Todd was something was different about him than any other counselor I've ever had in my entire life. Something about this place, like this place didn't exist yet, but just the program itself, the lifestyle was so much different to me than anything else I've ever experienced. I would talk to Todd, and I felt like he actually cared. It's like the people that are around this building, they actually care. And that's what was very important to me. And I didn't trust him at first either. I was very, I don't know, skeptical about the whole thing. Like, it's too good to be true. People actually are sober and stay happy. Like, that's a very bizarre concept. At least it was for me. And I guess that is to some people still, like, being sober and being happy, and just everything that goes on in this building is different than anything I've ever experienced in my life, because I've never felt anywhere besides a bar where everyone's like, hey, how are you doing? Like, shake your hand. Like, it's home. And I found this place. And sober people caring about each other is the most bizarre thing I've ever experienced. And I'm happy I found it. And I wish more people knew about it. Like, we have our own little culture here, and I wish it was everywhere. I wish people could know about this, like, all over the globe, honestly, because it's helped me so much, and there's so many people I know have been helped by it. And I just wish we could spread it further, but, I mean, I just relate to this guy because I was there in the same kind of predicament, and I got out too, so that's how I relate. Come on, you got something?
Yeah, I relate to the story, I mean, well, to some degree. Psych wards, definitely. You know, for me, getting sober this time was, I started having to take directions from other people, you know, that are sober. That was different because I tried doing everything on my own. I really believed that I could conquer anything, you know. I did with numerous things in my life. So I felt that if I just stayed healthy and worked out, you know, got involved in church, stuff like that, that, you know, I could put the drug down, I could do this, you know. And then looking back at that, that was an idiotic way to look at it because I had so many people tell me that you're not gonna stay sober if you just think you're just gonna work out all the time and stay eating right and doing this stuff. If you don't work on what's driving you to drink and pick up, you're gonna pick up. And so I didn't believe that. I tried doing everything my way, okay? It didn't work. Many times I've asked for help when it's psych wards, you know? Really big, I'm you know, I'm very religious with God, and, you know, I'm is my higher power. I do a lot of praying. But, you know, the difference with my prayers today was I cooperate with my prayer today, you know? I don't get on my knees and ask God to, you know, do this and do that, and then I don't cooperate with it. Because I had someone tell me one time, he said, you know, if you don't cooperate with your prayer, all you're doing is blowing hot air. That's all you're doing. And it made sense when I heard that. And the other thing, too, for me was I had some, you know, I had a lot of support system in my recovery today. I stay in contact with many people. And it helps me, that, you know, very much, because I had someone tell me one time when I got sober, the first thing he said to me was, Are you willing to go to any length to stay sober? Are you willing to do anything I tell you to do? I said, yeah. He goes, pray, get on your knees and pray tonight. And the next day, he said, did you get on your knees and pray? I said, well, no, I prayed in the shower. He goes, then you ain't willing to do shit. You didn't do what I told you to do. See what I mean? How we're starting off here? So, it made a lot of sense to me, you know, because everything was my way. It had to be my way. I thought I could do everything my way. I could stay sober, you know. And from 14, looking back at it, 14 when I started picking up drinking, you know, I didn't get into heavy drug use till I was 34, right after my cancer. So I was a late bloomer in that one. But it took off like a rocket. And looking back at that, like, man, like I never had a sobriety or, you know, sober time like I do now, you know? So, you know, for me and being able to relate to that, I always asked for help, and I always did the opposite. Every single time, you know? I'd get help, I'd cry, I'd whine, I'd do this, and then as soon as somebody told me what to do and do it this way, oh, hell no, I'm going this way, you know? And it never worked. So today, I have a lot of people, you know, even at work, I have people that have 12, 13 years, you know, that are in programs and do stuff, but constantly I'm around people that are staying sober, you know how to live their life today, you know, can pay a bill on time, you know, have a house, have a car, you know. That's who I want to be around because, you know, like, and the last thing I'll share is, you know, my grandmother would tell me when I was a kid, she said, you keep hanging around shit long enough, you're going to smell like it, you know? And then I'd come in the house, where you been? And I've been on Friday. Yeah, you smell like shit. That's where you've been, you know? And so I had to understand that, you know, looking back at a lot of things she told me in my life, you know, was hang around the winners. You know, and it's not degrading nobody. It's not doing anything. It's just, if I want to get somewhere, I got to go where the ones are doing it. And so that's what I'm trying to do.
Thanks, Sean. Bobby.
Hey. Yeah, I could relate to pretty much this entire writing. You know, right from the get-go, you know, I mean, I didn't grow up in Ann Arbor, but I grew up with, you know, great parents. I had a great childhood, and I think where my downward spiral happened was when I moved to Ohio from New Jersey. I didn't really, you know, I didn't make any friends really. I didn't really want to, kind of isolated. Even like people I played, the guys I played football with, I didn't really hang out with any of them. And the friends that I did have, I couldn't stand, I guess, you know, but I remember distinctly the first time I got drunk and I was in the back seat driving, you know, we're driving back to my house and driving off. I was with my cousins and I remember sitting in the back seat saying, this is the greatest feeling I've ever felt. And so, you know, that was right there really is where my downward spiral started. And then I found my drug of choice, and that was even better. It made me a social butterfly. You know, I felt great, all that. And like Joe said, finally when I, you know, had enough, like wanting to die was, I didn't want to die, I didn't want to live, but like, I didn't care either way, but I wanted to just get out of addiction or die because I didn't want to live like that anymore. And so like when I finally came around Racing for Recovery, something, you know, I like clicked, but I didn't buy in. And you know, it took me a little bit, but now, you know, right now I'm really seeing everything good. You know, little things are happening, and I'm reaching little goals here, little goals there. And my relationship with my daughter is amazing. You know, and even like this, you know, vacation I just went on with my family. Yeah, there were times where I was on this trip, I was really irritated, like just because, I mean, I guess I haven't really been around my family this much since I've been in the lodging the past 6-7 months. so I was getting irritated, but now the old me, I would have like lashed out and much F up, or, you know, like leave me alone, get off my back, or, you know, especially with my, you know, being Eliana's dad and like trying to do the whole dad thing and having my mom step in all the time like she does, but whatever. I just accepted things and I kind of chill. I relaxed and I just looked at everything. I tried to turn it into like the good. I mean, I was on the beach. You know, I mean, I was looking at everything like I have the opportunity. I'm sober, 6 months sober. I'm on vacation with my family. I have my family. I was looking at all the good, and you know, I just have to thank this place, you know, for really, you know, showing me and finally accepting everything.
Nice. Thanks, Bobby. Dustin.
I can relate to this story. Let me start by saying this. When I read this book the first time, I skipped these. At least till the end of them. I didn't like reading the war stories. That for a while that bothered me, and it doesn't so much anymore. But without going into any war stories, you know, I can relate to him a lot with the escalation of it. You know, I was always looking for the next best thing. And for a while, that's what it felt like. You know, it felt like I was just going up. I'm like, oh, this is great. Oh, what's that? Oh, shoot, that's great. You know, and I would just keep doing that until I hit this point where it wasn't great anymore. And I stopped and looked at myself. Well, I was forced to look at myself, really, is what happened. And I had nothing. You know, I had nothing. I had some family members that still, for some reason, talked to me. And then, you know, after a little bit of while, I got my shit together. And I like what Sean had to say, because that's one thing I did different this time. So when I came back to Racing for Recovery, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do this. And what I did wrong the first time is I was just trying to do it my way. I didn't want to listen to anybody. You know, I don't know if it was a pride issue or like whatever it was with me, but I was a stubborn asshole, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do it my way. And it never worked my way. I tried it. I can relate with what he said too. Like, I had a problem with listening to people for a long time, or being told what to do. That's one reason why the other program didn't work for me. They're telling me to go back to step one. I'm like, shove it up your ass, you know. Like, that just wasn't for me. And then I found Racing for Recovery, and I found some winners here. I found some people like Steven and Joe and Randall and some guys when I was here early that were doing the right thing for a while before I got here. And I hung out with them. I'm like, these guys have been doing something right long enough. Like, let me see how they're living. What are they doing? And I asked questions, and I talked about it. And if I was having a problem, I did something I didn't used to do either, I would share it. And, you know, 95% of the time, probably 99% of the time, one of the guys that I was with have been like, man, I did that, or I've been through that. Here's how I got through it. And that's one thing that's really helped me after coming down that slope, is go back up. And another thing I've done in my sobriety is I've always kept goals ahead of me. So I'm always moving forward. You know, I'm always doing something that's going to bring that goal that I've set far out in front of me that much closer to me. So one thing I've always tried to do is just keep moving forward. I don't look backwards anymore. I'm always looking forward for the next best thing, but it's not the best next drug or next best drink anymore. It's what's going to be the best thing for me, and then my son and my family, and you know, that's just how I keep on keeping on now. And if you looked at like the way I'm living now, if you guys didn't know me, you wouldn't know what my past looked like. You know, if some of you guys didn't know it because I told you about it, you wouldn't know about it at all, because, you know, I'm not who I was. I'm a totally different person now, and that's all I gotta say.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Rhea.
I would like to say that I'm stubborn, and I've always been the type of person to where if you tell me to do something, or if you give me a rule, I'm going to find some type of way to tweak, bend, just something to do things my way. I noticed that it's almost like it was like I was setting myself up for failure, because I would do, like, instead of walking a straight line to get someplace, I don't know, I might have to zigzag or I'm trying to cut corners, and then I find that I'm frustrating myself because had I just went with the, walk that straight line and try to cut corners or go from A to D, I don't know if you get what I'm saying. It was frustrating, and like I would feel like I was fighting. And it's a lot of stress off of my chest, honestly, now, because I don't fight the process. I don't. That's hard sometimes for me. Like you guys shared, I know I don't. I never like people telling me what's not even my mom. It took for me to be where I am now to be like, okay, maybe these 32 years that she's got on me, maybe they know a little something that I didn't, maybe they do know something, in that 32 years they've been living prior to me being born. But I used to be very angry, very irritable, trying to do things my way and trying to figure out how to break rules, and then being pissed off because I did bend the rule and now there's a consequence, and it just sets you back in life. And I honestly, like, now, a couple people asked me, like, why was I at peace, or was just asking me how I'm doing and how I feel, and the only thing I really could say is, like, I'm for the most part, like, I'm chill. I'm not fighting the process. Now I ask questions, and I look forward to people telling me what to do, to a certain extent. It's a lot easier to not have to figure things out for myself and just put that off on somebody else, It's a lot easier. I'm at peace, and it's been a long time since I could honestly say that. And I recently started saying I was happy, and I was uncomfortable with saying that because it had been such a long time, but I can honestly say that I'm happy. I'm not stressed out. I don't wake up in the morning and want to lay in bed all day, and I'm not on any medications. That's a big deal for me.
Thanks, Ray.
Thanks, Ray.
What Ray was just saying, and what that little passage really makes me think of is that change is inevitable. And a book that I recently started reading definitely touches on that. And like I referred to in my introduction, the permanent white waters of change, and being able to adapt and accept that those changes are going to happen whether we want them or not. It's how we respond to them, and if we start going along with those changes, we're going to see that we're no longer looking for me. I'm no longer going to be looking for somebody to blame. I'm just going to find a way on how I can see things as opportunities. When I hit that wall, I accepted that I needed to change. I was hurting myself. I was exhausted. I was hurting my kids. For my 10-year-old to see the things that I was doing, she's not young anymore. She's smart too, so she can see that I'm not there the way I should be. I'm not there like Dad's there. I'm not there like Grandma's there. So when I hit that wall, I had to accept. I had no choice but to accept that change. And like Ray was saying, I was resistant for so long to that change, and the way I handled any kind of change that came at me, it was so negative that I was at just hurt myself. So I'm glad Rhea said what she said, because I definitely relate to what she was saying.
I'm gonna get a little weird right now. Just be prepared. I think that what you were saying was awesome, and what Ray was saying was awesome, and it just sparked me getting a little weird. Okay, so I think that us as human beings, we adapt to our surroundings, And to get to where we were, this is my thinking. You don't take it from anyone else's. But I think that we evolved to this point. We are going to keep evolving. And I think that I got to a certain point where I wasn't changing. I wasn't going with the flow of my evolution, let's say, with my drugs and alcohol use. I was stagnant. I was staying at a complete line, and sometimes going downhill too. But I think that's why Dustin keeps saying about what's next, what's the next level, because that's like evolving, because that's what we're made to do. We're made to get better and stronger, and I think that's the point of everything. That's why this is getting kind of weird, because I'm talking a little bit out of character, but I think it's really cool, because I think that's the whole point of what we're doing here, is getting better as people. And if we've evolved to this point, why can't we keep going further than that? So, I don't know, the whole point of what I'm getting at is change is inevitable, because we're made to change. We're made to get better, and we're made to go further to the next level of our lives. Like Todd always says, like, what's next? Let's get Racing for Recovery to the next level. He's not even thinking about himself anymore. He's thinking about this organization, this program, this lifestyle. He's furthering himself. And now that he made that one change, we're all here and doing this. So now that we're all here, we have that inside of us, that awesome gift that we all have. Like, whether it's playing musical instruments, whether it's just art, whether it's talking to people, whether it's compassion, empathy, whatever we have. Whatever your special gift is, we can take that and we can make our own awesome thing with it. It's not too far out to think that we can't make something as awesome as Racing for Recovery out of our own selves. It's quite possible, because there's something on the wall in these banners. It's like, with sobriety, anything is possible. It's true. It's not just some bullshit we say around here. It's like, it's actually true, and that's what scares me, because I have this feeling that, like, I can do whatever I want, but where do I take that? And I want you guys to get to that point to where you can feel like you have all this power within you, because for so long I hated the things about myself that made me who I was. I hated the things that were my actual gifts, my emotions, my empathy, my compassion towards things. I hated that, because I thought it made me weak. As a man, I shouldn't be crying about things. And I shouldn't be getting so worked up about things. But that's not how it is. That's my whatever given gift that makes me who I am. And I know every single one of us has that. And I kind of got preachy there for a second. I'm sorry. But it was cool. So, yeah, that's what I got.
I wanted to make a cliff note on my previous statement. When I got here, what made this place different is that nobody told me what to do. The only thing they told me what not to do in here, they're like, don't do drugs or drink alcohol no matter what. That was the only thing I was told to do. Other than that, they're like, find your own way. You know, and that's what I did. They gave me some suggestions, some lifestyles, and I found some people that were already emulating those, and I'm like, what are you doing? And I asked questions. That's how bad I wanted it. I wanted to see what the next guy was doing. And I was willing to go to any length. It's like, oh, I swim 3 days a week. I'm like, oh, great, that's helping you? Yep, okay, I'll do that. Oh, I run. Okay, perfect. I'll do that. I do yoga. I didn't do that. I promise I'm going to try it once. But you get my point. I was willing to try. I was willing to do anything that was not going to set me backwards to keep me moving forward. But I just wanted to, footnote.
Sidebar. Still hasn't done yoga.
Yeah, still hasn't done it.
We got some time left. I think your wheels are spinning a little bit.
It's Monday night, I guess. I just wanted to say that, the dude, Ben Thomas, I liked how the last two paragraphs when he talked about how the dude introduced him when he watched the movie and was motivated. And I think that ties into what you were saying about doing the next right thing or wanting more. That's pretty much where I'm at, man. I'm buying into this shit 100%. It's true. With sobriety, anything is possible. That's where my mindset is at. Because I know I'm not getting high no more, no matter what. And I mean, listening to the Ironmans and shit, I can't see why anybody would want to run more than fucking 2 miles. I don't know. But to be honest, because I was a sprinter, and I've been finding myself, I've been getting up I get up early enough, and I've been going for a jog/stroll in the morning. And the more I do it, it's only been like a week, I can go longer distances without having to stop, and that's motivating the fuck out of me. Like, damn, I might be one of the, I don't know about no Ironman, but I might put a race or something, you know? I'm motivating myself, and it just feels great. And it's rubbing off on my kids, man, because my son's a sophomore, and he's going to be a sophomore, and he runs track. He's a sprinter too, and I've been making him get up, because he don't even go to bed. He'd be up still on his phone. So I'm like, hey, you're up, let's go for a jog, and he'll go with me. And I mean, it's just, this program is so awesome. It really is. I mean, I'm just in awe at myself. You know, I just didn't think, you know, I was in that misery. I just couldn't imagine me being where I'm at today. I'm so grateful. Just the little things. My daughter loves coming up. She'd be like checking me, like, hey, are we going to a meeting today? You know, it's like, it's going to be very rare times that I won't be here, because that little girl right there checks me, like, hey, is there a meeting today? She wants to come just as much as me. So, this program is awesome. The last few sentences, he said, defining balance and making it a part of my life is critical. I need moderate doses of many positive things. Living this way has built up my confidence and self-esteem. I care for myself emotionally, physically, and spiritually every day. I mean, that says a lot, and I feel exactly the same way. And Steve, you were saying that you wish this program could be everywhere. My dream is, I keep saying I'm going to work here one day, and if it hasn't happened by the time I do get employed here, I'm going to be working on expanding this, because everybody should have this. I mean, we got to relocate somehow and expand. I'm serious. I mean, I'm claiming it. That's how my mindset is. Thanks for listening.
This building is getting pretty small with all of us.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been only a week, it's been a week of you running, so don't undermine like what you're saying.
Thank you.
And that race you're talking about, there's one coming up in October. I'll see you there.
All right, yeah, it's a date. For sure. I'm going to hand out water.
Anyone have any closing comments before we get out of here?
Okay, I'll say one more thing. Yeah. Because I'm really excited about this. I spent all day, pretty much like the majority of the day, Saturday, with my father. That's probably one of the most important man in the world to me. You can't tell me nothing about my daddy. But I spent all Saturday with him, and the way he doted over me and just was so proud of me, and that's a natural high, and it made me feel good, and I've been buzzing off of that since Saturday. It's so much love. My parents are I went to lunch and did some stuff with my mom today. They are so proud of me. Around this time last year, when they would look at me, I could just see like the disappointment in the eye, like that sad, you know, like where the tears are welting up in their eye, but they're not falling, just looking at me, just feeling, I don't know, because I was a hot ass mess. And it feels good to have that look of affection, acknowledgement. You know, I'm motivated very much by praise, and you know, that's got me like on a high. Like that's a really good feeling to know that they love me and they're growing to trust me. It wasn't too long ago to where my mom was not comfortable putting money in my hand. That was embarrassing. But it's not like that now. They see me doing stuff. They see me doing the right thing. Not being forced, but I'm doing it with a smile on my face, and I'm okay with it. And they're just there. You know, anything that I need, you know, so doing the right things, it's rewarding, you know. I don't know, that's all I want to say. I'm just really excited about that. My dad was excited, and I appreciate all of you who that met him, and when I introduced, you know, the warm welcome that he received. You know, that was really nice.
Awesome.
And he's happy about this place too, about me being here. So that's all.
Thanks for answering. Patrick.
Autobiography in 5 short chapters by Portia Nelson. I walk down the street, there's a deep hole in the sidewalk, I fall in. I'm lost, I'm hopeless, it isn't my fault. It takes forever to find a way out. I walk down the same street, there's a deep hole in the sidewalk, I pretend I don't see it, I fall in again. I can't believe I'm in the same place, but it isn't my fault. It takes a long time to get out. I walk down the same street, there's a deep hole in the sidewalk, I see it, it's there, I still fall in, it's a habit. My eyes are open, I know where I am, it is my fault. I get out immediately. I walk down the same street, there's a deep hole in the sidewalk, I walk around it. I walk down another street.
It's coming, everyone! Turn your votes up,